William White has agreed to be our patron, which for those of you that follow William White's work in Chronicle and Recovery for the last 30 years, this is really special. So this is from William White. I speak to you this morning as a person in long-term addiction recovery and as a recovery historian. I have closely monitored the birth and evolution of the recovery advocacy movement in the UK and want to share along a few words of encouragement for the launch of BRIM in Middlesbrough. More than 20 years ago, I wrote of a new recovery advocacy movement rising around the globe. I described the simple but transformative ideas that were emerging from new and renewed grassroots recovery advocacy organisations. In the earliest days of this movement, we announced that addiction recovery is a reality in the lives of millions of individuals and families, and we offered ourselves as living proof of that proclamation. We noted the many pathways to addiction recovery and declared that all are cause for celebration. We observed that recovery flourishes in supportive communities, and we affirmed that people who were once a problem for local communities could become invaluable resources within these same communities. We spoke of a day when recovering people and their families and friends would mass as far as the eyes could see in cities across every country. We spoke of a day when families who had lost a loved one to addiction would march to save others. We spoke of a coming day when people with days of recovery would march beside men and women with decades of recovery. We spoke of a day when those in 12-step fellowships would march arm in arm with people in secular and religious pathways of recovery. We spoke of a day when people whose recovery began in therapeutic communities would stand in fraternity with people in medication-assisted recovery. All of us putting aside our differences and celebrating the growing varieties and styles of recovery experience. We envisaged a day when people in recovery from countries around the world would stand in unity to carry the advocacy torch. We envisaged a day when people in recovery would extend a broad menu of recovery support services around the globe. That day, which we thought would take generations to achieve, has arrived. We stand here today as the living fulfilment of that vision. Today we stand here and around the world, reaching across geographical, political, racial and cultural barriers to mobilise our growing numbers and influence. Today we stand to reach our goal of engaging those who still suffer and creating a world in which recovery is supported and celebrated. Today we stand to send a message to those still wounded. Recovery is contagious. If you want it, you have to get close to it and stay close to it. You have to catch it and keep catching it. And you have to pass it on to others. For far too long we have knelt with bowed heads, not in humility or prayer, but in shame. Today we stand as one, in our gratitude for the fruits of recovery and in our commitment to service. Today we stand to write the future of addiction recovery in Middlesbrough and in the world. Today we stand. My best wishes to you all for a productive and historic meeting. William White.